KP's Video News, baby.
You know what time it is. I'm back. I'm back. I've been gone for a couple of days, but I'm back. And getting ready to do this story about LA. And LA has had a history of corruption in the police department. And before they had Chief Daryl Gates over there, which was chief of police in Los Angeles, LAPD. They had this vehicle that they created that had like this battering ram on the front of it that would like run into your house and knock the doors down. And they literally tore this house down on this, going to the wrong address. This was like back in the let's say late 80s, early 90s or whatever. And they called it the Batarang. But anyway, Gates, he got kicked out. Now we have another LAPD, this former Los Angeles County Sheriff Lee BACA, and it's another corrupt cop out of LA. He said this former Los Angeles County Sheriff Lee BACA reported to prison to begin serving his 3-year sentence for corruption. According to federal records, BACA was sentenced to 3 years in prison for disrupting an FBI probe that was investigating abuses in the jails he oversaw. He was convicted of obstructing justice, lying to federal authorities, and conspiring to obstruct justice. BACA was behind bars at the Federal Correctional Institution, La Tuna, near El Paso, Texas, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons online database. BACA, 77, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, had been free on bail since appealing his conviction 3 years ago. Last month, the Supreme Court declined his final appeal, and BACA was ordered to begin serving his term. BACA originally guarded inmates before running the nation's largest jail system and biggest sheriff department. He resigned in 2014 amid the scandal. U.S. District Court Judge Percy Anderson said in 2017 he would have sentenced BACA to 5 years in prison if it were not for his years of service and the Alzheimer's diagnosis. Agents had been secretly looking into allegations of bribery and inmate beatings by jail guards in 2011 when BACA and his top lieutenants learned that an inmate was acting as an FBI informant. BACA and his lieutenants attempted to carry out an elaborate scheme to hide the informant in the jail system by booking him under false names and moving him to different locations according to the conviction. They also tried to intimidate an FBI agent by threatening to arrest her. 20 members of the department have been convicted for their involvement in the crimes, including BACA's chief deputy, Paul Tanaka, who was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. BACA's lawyers filed a new motion to vacate the conviction on Wednesday. And however, he's in jail now, and he's right where he needs to be. BACA's reputation as a respected law enforcement official who promoted progressive ideas such as education and rehabilitation was tarnished from the crimes, and he's now in jail doing time with some of the same people you locked up. And so that's why I titled this particular episode "Dummism." Certain things racism, but it's a whole different thing when you start thinking about dummism, because dummism exists, and dummism is a word I just created. That means, you know, you got people that think they're so smart and they think they can do whatever they want to do, LA style, and whatever they want to do, but when they get caught, it's like, oh, dumbest shit they ever thought about doing in the first place. Never should have did it. And here's dummism number 2. The ex-Mississippi welfare director arrested, accused of using funds to pay for a wrestler's rehab. So, the former head of the Mississippi Department of Human Services, DHS, has been arrested in an alleged multi-million-dollar embezzlement scheme, which officials said Wednesday helped pay for the rehab of retired WWE wrestler Brett DeBase. John Davis, the ex-DHS head who retired last year, was one of the 6 charged in what the state auditor, Shad White, described as the largest public embezzlement case in state history. DeBase is the son of Ted DeBase, a WWE Hall of Famer. An 8-month investigation by White's officials concluded that the accused conspired to illegally obtain millions in public funds from the temporary assistance for needy families using numerous business entities and schemes to defraud the taxpayers. Davis and his former DHS employee Latimer Smith allegedly paid DeBase money to teach classes about drug use, but the former wrestler was at a California rehab center and never performed those services. They allegedly conspired with 2 other others, Dr. Nancy New, the director of a nonprofit Mississippi Community Education Center, and her son Zach New, to pay for the former wrestler's drug treatment in Malibu using the funds from the welfare program. We have looked tirelessly into the auditor's office to uncover this sprawling conspiracy, so I want to thank the investigators, auditors, and analysts who assisted. Annie McCrew, an accountant for the nonprofit, was also charged. The office said the amount of money lost due to the schemes is unknown, but the loss exceeds any embezzlement scheme in the records of the auditor's book, which dates back to 20 years. So these people was taking money from the people on welfare, using it to pay for the rehab, alcohol and drug rehab of a ex-wrestler. So, you know, hey, but they tell you you're no good when you go out there and you're trying to get a few food stamps to feed your kids. You're no good, but they can steal millions of dollars and put it in their pockets from that same program instead of giving you that $50 worth of food stamps. Dummism. All right, here we go with dummism number 3. We got a white CEO is apologizing after he was fired for calling an Uber driver the N-word. Here we go. Hans Berglund, the CEO of the organic fertilizer Acroplasm, was caught on video calling 25-year-old Randy Clark, an Uber driver, the N-word. Berglund has now been fired. Agroplasm Incorporated released a statement in Arizona explaining Berglund has been fired in the light of the events of last Friday. Agroplasm CEO Hans Berglund has been relieved of his duties while the company performs a full internal investigation. The incident is not at all reflective of Agroplasm's values and the ethics. Our relationship with our employees, customers, and the community are the cornerstones of our success. We are doing everything in our power to rebuild the trust and repair the harm that has been as a result of this incident. Hans Berglund, 72, is now apologizing, telling ABC 15, I deeply regret and apologizing for the hurtful and derogatory language, blah, 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 blah. Why is it that all these cats want to apologize when they get busted, when they get fired, and they get fired? You know, you said exactly what you wanted to say when you said it, and that's exactly how you felt when you said it. So the driver of the Uber said a racist man left the vehicle, but the driver, Clark, did some research and found out that the rider was Hans Berglund, the CEO of the organic fertilizer company Agroplasm. Clark told news media in Arizona that he was in shock, and I shamelessly felt like laughing because I did not know this was real. It's not just any word. Any word. He also told a news outlet, I feel that Uber could do more to prevent these types of situations by implementing features that help us drivers deal with these situations better. So, you know, it's another one of those situations where you got somebody spouting off at the mouth, calling people out of their name, but ring the bell. Another clown just lost his job for acting like an idiot, you know, trying to act like the DC dunce over there, you know, DC dunce over there with all that ism, you know, racism, classism, sexism, dummism. It's the latest thing.
KP's Video News.
Yep, we attacking it on all fronts. That's right. We're attacking all isms. Peace.